So today we're going to learn how to create an op art design using just paper, a pencil, a pen, marker, whatever you have. The first step is to cut a piece of paper, any paper you have, into a square. If you have something a little more sturdy, that works a little bit better, but whatever you have is fine. Now we're going to draw some diagonal lines from corner to corner to make an X down the center of the paper. If you don't have a ruler, you could use any straight edge. Here I'm just using a piece of scrap paper and I'm drawing an X in the middle. Now I'm going to measure out some marks, some evenly spaced marks. Here I did 1 inch. If you want yours a little thicker, you could do 1.5 inches. This paper is 8 by 8, so it's really up to you how thin you want your lines. Now we're going to use our ruler and we're going to draw a line through those marks we just made and the center point. So the lines are going through the center and the mark we just made, and we're drawing all the way down. So you can see I'm lining up the ruler here with those evenly spaced marks and the central point and drawing light lines with my pencil. This is going to give it that optical illusion, that perspective where it looks like it's going back into space. So all of our lines are essentially converging at that central point. So we're going to repeat that all the way around, measuring out 1 inch marks. If you don't have a ruler, you can eyeball it, just kind of guess. And I'm drawing a line all the way from those marks to the central point. And since it's a square, we're even measuring it out evenly and going all the way across the page. Okay, so that's what it should look like. Now we're going to draw a box anywhere on your page. A decent sized box, I'd say, I don't know, maybe a quarter or half the size of the page. Now we're going to draw another box slightly smaller, and this box is going to overlap with the one we just drew. And then we're going to draw a third box. This is what's going to give that illusion that the boxes are kind of laying on top of the page. And then last, you're drawing a box around that center point. And it doesn't matter exactly what size, everybody's work is going to look a little different. And then you erase what's in the center box. You don't need that point anymore. So we just erased it. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to darken up your boxes, the boxes that you just drew, because we're going to begin to start shading and filling in our shapes. And you're going to shade in every other shape, but we're going to switch our black, or in this case blue, to our white wherever we run into a line from one of the boxes. So our negative space becomes our positive space. So see where you could see that line from the box where the edge meets? You want to keep track of where those boxes are, because every time you run into one of those lines, you're going to switch your black to your white or your blue to your white, whatever color you're using, to the opposite. So it's not a bad idea to maybe outline your boxes with your pencil a little bit darker just so you could see them a little better. And then we're just going to kind of go all the way around. You can see here I'm using a pen. I started with a pencil and then decided I wanted to use the pen just for something different. You can use a marker, a colored pencil, a crayon. I would say probably a Sharpie marker or any marker would be easiest, but it can be done. And I kind of really enjoyed the process with the pen. It's a lot of like layering and building up your darks. So you could see I'm making these like scratchy lines. And wherever my box is, you can start seeing my box unfold here. I'm switching from the blue to the white. So you just don't want to lose track of where your boxes are. So you're shading in those lines going to the point in the middle, those diagonal lines, and you're switching wherever your boxes are. So you can see how I can use the pen to really build up those darks by changing direction a lot. You notice I'm spinning the page quite a bit. This is so that I could change the direction of my mark making with my lines to build up those dark blue tones. And you could do this however you want. If you want to map everything out first and then go back and do all the shading together so you know which boxes are dark and which ones are light from the beginning. You could even do that with your pencil first, kind of just mark it out so that you know, or you can kind of wing it and build up your values or your darks as you go. And I'm really just relaxing and enjoying the process of the mark making. You can make this really stressful or you can make it therapeutic. And I think the most important thing is really just to relax and enjoy the process and remember that you have no rush. So we're not racing to get to the finish line. We're taking our time and really getting those edges nice and crisp, breathing, relaxing. And this is sped up quite a bit. So this took me a little over an hour, I would say. And I'm just enjoying switching directions, making those marks. It's kind of just satisfying with the pen. The marker would go a little bit easier. You wouldn't have as many scratches and lines to make to build up your color. You really just continue this process all the way until the end. Wherever you run into a line from your box, you switch from whatever color you're using to the opposite. And then you come to the end, and you can add whatever you want in the center of your box. Here I just drew a square and a little outline. You can detail that however you like. And that's it. So relax and have fun.